Well, I think the on-ice evaluation is always the most important piece. We also want to make sure that we're bringing good people into our dressing room and into our community in Montreal.
On a 2 jours de meeting avant la draft pour peaufiner notre liste. Kent's been working on the phones and all that. We have options of trading up.
This guy's skill is off the charts. You can hit a major league home run.
He kind of brings me out of my seat when I watch him.
I think he's that much more elite than his peers.
I don't think he's going to be there. If he's there, take it.
Draft day for us it's kind of like Game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
If the draft didn't go our way, would you trade 5 to make our 2024 first selection the one and only Celine Dion?
Making the team better. That's the one thing that excites me about every draft. That's why we come to the draft, is to make the team better, and you don't get a better opportunity than when you have a top 10 pick.
The combine is a very important piece of the puzzle because that's where we get to spend the most time with the kids.
On a des entrevues de cédulés pour connaître plus leur caractère et puis leur famille. On les voit souvent avec des cases de hockey, avec des visières, mais là, c'est la personne et on essaie d'en savoir plus.
Benny, how you doing?
Nice to meet you.
Very excited to meet you, Benny.
Yeah.
He remembers you from your days.
Oh, yeah.
Kazan?
Yeah.
So.
In 2004.
Yeah, you were born.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you try to make these kids comfortable as possible by asking them simple questions first. Housekeeping items about their family, segueing to their hockey careers, their hockey life, and then to more psychological-based analysis.
So, your family, if you have any siblings?
Yep. Mom is a CPA. She works in finance. Yeah, my brother Alexander, he's 2 years younger than I am. Born in it was 2008, and yeah, Dad. Obviously, he passed away last summer, which wasn't easy at all. But you know, someone who I wouldn't be here without. I think he was, you know, a role model for me growing up and someone who did everything for me.
Well, I think the on-ice evaluation is always the most important piece. At the end of the day, you want to make sure that the players are going to be able to contribute to the performance of your hockey club on the ice.
And do you see somebody that you think you play like?
I think, you know, like combo with Kaprizov and Jack Hughes. Similar with Hughes, like mobility upper body. You know, when he do like these moves, yeah. Yeah, and I think we are very similar with.
Do you know who does that
What?
a lot too? Lane Hudson.
Yeah, I know. I watched him, his highlights. Yeah, and you know, we are very similar with him. But he's the defenseman. I'm a forward. You know.
You can play together in the offensive blue line.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The player's personality and what they're like as people is incredibly important. We also want to make sure that we're bringing good people into our dressing room and into our community in Montreal.
What type of city kid are you? What type of market do you like the best?
I love the cold. I love the winter. Yeah, it's my favorite season. Yeah. So you guys will be perfect. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of pressure in Montreal.
Yeah, for sure.
Can't hide.
No, he cannot.
Yeah. So you think you can deal with that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, no problem.
No.
On a big stage like that.
No, I love big stage. That's when I play my best.
How do you gonna deal with the pressure of being son, Montreal? You know Montreal markets.
Yeah, I know. I think I am good under pressure. I think I've always been, especially now, past year. I think I've been very good under pressure. And I think I can, let's say you draft me, I think I can do it. And I don't think it's a big thing for me, really. I mean, of course, there's going to be times where it's a little tough. And I think Mikko, he had some kind of pressure too when he was my age because his older brother was a big thing then. So I've been talking to him as well about everything, you know, combine, draft, everything the next season, because he had some kind of pressure too, because everyone was telling him that your brother is there and you're here. So I kind of, you know how to talk to him better than my dad on that thing.
Do you know anything about Montreal?
Yeah, I know so much about Montreal. Yeah, I know who played here. Yeah, It's like a big club from original 6.
So like Slavkovsky, you know some.
Yeah. I played against him on a Hlinka Gorecki Cup. Yeah, he lose.
You win.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. David Scott is incredibly vital to our interview process here at the NHL Combine, and he's really able to ask different and challenging questions that gives us a different perspective on all the players and gives us different answers. So we like to see how the players think on their feet.
Here's my last question, and you don't have to answer this.
Yeah.
I'm serious. You can say, look, I'm passing. All right? No, I'm serious.
Okay.
Not that far away from where I live. There's a young fella. He's quite a bit younger than you. He's about 9 or 10.
Okay.
And something very similar has happened to him and his family and what you have gone through.
Yeah.
And he's struggling.
Yeah.
As you can, right? I mean, it sounds like your mother is an amazing, right? Like you're sitting here today. I mean, it's unbelievable what you've done. I don't want to say secret. How did you survive? Like what do I tell him with this young?
Yeah. I think for me, what I did personally was, at first it's going to be hard, but, and you're never going to move on from something like that in the sense of forgetting about everything he did for me. But, it was more about moving forward in the sense that, you know, this is what he believed I could do. This is, you know, he did so much for me to get to the point I was at. And, I just tried to use it as external motivation, play like he's watching, do everything like he's watching me. So that's the way I tried to use it.
I'm sure he's looking down from the big hockey rink and this guy's unbelievably proud of you.
I hope so.
Oh, I'm sure he is, yeah.
Good, mate. Great job.
Yeah, great job.
Good job.
Mais c'est sûr que c'est le fun de voir les jeunes participer à cette combine-là. Ça nous donne un sens de comment ils compétitionnent en faisant leur exercice. Surtout sur le VO2 et le Wingate. C'est des tests physiques qui sont demandants. Puis on aime ça voir comment ils se poussent eux-mêmes. Mais on se base pas seulement juste là-dessus. C'est sûr que quelqu'un qui fait 4 pull-ups, ça veut pas dire que c'est pas un bon joueur de hockey. Là. Puis ils ont encore du temps à se développer. Ils ont 17-18 ans. Donc c'est un bel événement. Puis à Buffalo, c'est une place où c'est que on peut rencontrer des jeunes puis mettre un visage à des noms.
We're 5th overall and you're still there. What, are we crazy if we don't take you?
Yeah.
We're crazy, right?
Yeah. If you didn't take it. I think yeah.
Like a franchise player?
Yeah, I think yeah.
On est ici avec tous les recruteurs. On a 2 jours de meeting avant la draft pour peaufiner notre liste. Kent aime beaucoup avoir des opinions, essayer d'en savoir plus sur chaque joueur puis les candidats potentiels qu'on va repêcher.
Everybody will start with the player comparisons, your respective 2 players. And as we go through, as we always say, there's no wrong opinions here. Say what you think. We're not looking for guys to be defensive in their opinions. You know, ultimately it's up to Nick and Marty to determine the list, but your honest input is very important to them.
This year in our draft meetings, you know, you're always looking for something fresh, a new concept. So the concept of putting 2 guys together and they were assigned 2 players. And then the debate would start as far as this guy versus this guy. That was their presentation. So it's really a way to get everybody going to start off the meetings, because when you're at 5, you basically know, you know, who the 5 or 7 players you're looking at. So now you really want to go in and really dive in.
We got anybody who wants to lead off? The guy who sits in the front of the classroom?
Ben and Krister. So
Ben and Krister?
2 really talented players. I'll start with Ivan. 6'1.5", left shot, right wing, plays on his off wing. Dynamic, highly skilled offensive winger. Really quick thinker, quick processor, plays fast, good hands in traffic, fast twitch, high compete level, high motor, stands out every single shift you watch him. Rarely, if ever, takes a shift off. Fearless player, not afraid to go into the hard areas. He's not shy to finish his checks. I think he has a hard side to his game. Good leadership capabilities. I think this player is a winner. I just think he's highly dynamic and someone that could potentially play on our first line, first power play for the Montreal Canadiens. You know, he kind of brings me out of my seat when I watch him. Really exciting player. can create something out of nothing, and I think he can really help us in terms of our offensive potential with the Canadiens.
Krister, you've scouted Russians more than anyone in this room. Anyone from the past played like this?
He changes directions like Makarov did. He comes in the blue line. Kovalev did it also. Comes into the blue line, goes straight in. You got to be a hell of a skater as a defenseman to defend against that, because it's coming fast and it's going this way. It's not in a curve. It's a 90-degree angle and in full speed. It's an elite move that he's going to use, but he's got many other things. He can score with his shot. He can make plays, and he can beat you one-on-one. So it's not a double threat. It's a triple threat offensively. I agree with Ben on the character. We take him for his offense, but he's not going to cheat defensively either. I'm sold. I love him.
Joey, Tommy, Demidov.
Yeah, we'll start with Demidov. Tommy and I were pretty in agreement on everything that we saw. I just think his brain and his offensive processing is so high. He can make quick plays out of nothing. On the attack, he's an extremely dangerous player. He can push D back. He can gain zones. He can manipulate postures and find teammates through different variety of passing, sauce, area passes, backhand, forehand. Like, he's got a lot of arsenal.
I agree, of course, with everybody that's been talking. I really like the team player, difference maker combo there. It just struck me that he's just so one with the puck. His hands and his mind is so brilliant, and they work so well together. It's a joy to watch.
Yeah, I think he's the smartest player in the draft. He just makes plays that you don't expect. He makes everybody better.
And he did. We watched the 5 games. He did play center, and it was very impressive. His defensive mind was great. His stick pickpocketing guys, coming below the puck, being an option for his D, awareness in the D zone. It was all there. I don't know why he didn't. He had 11 points in those 5 games as a center. So that's where the most important thing came, was the upside on both these guys who, we really like both of them. I think one guy's brings the puck over the line and makes plays, brings it to the slot. He's the puck possession play driver. The other guy basically just gets it and has a goal scorer's mentality, creates all the, just creates everything off his shot.
On voulait vraiment mettre tout le monde sur le travail de comparer les joueurs. Mais on voulait avoir vraiment une évaluation très détaillée dans leur jeu, puis aussi qui met leur voix en arrière de quel des deux qui prendra. Puis je pense qu'en faisant ça, on a vraiment vu un consensus. Ça a vraiment éclairci notre liste en rentrant au repêchage.
You're standing there, you're taking Demidov at 5. You have your choice of forwards. You're taking Demidov.
I would, yes.
No hesitation.
No.
Yeah, so overall, I would just say would take Demidov. You get a potential of an number 1 center as opposed to a top 6 scoring winner. 2 great players. I'd be happy to take either one of them. I just think the upside in getting like an NHL All-Star.
Hockey sense, puck handling, offensive ability is just too high to pass on at number 5 if he's available. I think he's that much more elite than his peers.
If he's there at 5 for me, I don't see anybody close to him. I don't think he's going to be there. If he's there, take him.
Well, when we're in our final meetings in Vegas and throughout the hockey season, we're always looking at different scenarios and trying to plan in terms of how the draft might unfold. Obviously, management, they're constantly in discussion, with other general managers across the league, but also with our staff as well, and really just trying to develop a plan, how we can best maximize our opportunity come draft day.
Okay, guys, so we're gonna talk about options right now. Okay, Kent's been working, the phones and all that. We have options of trading up from 26.
We basically have the workings of the deal to get to 21 already.
And 21 will cost you 26 and 57?
50, yeah.
I'd probably do it.
So, of this group of guys, is Hague on a tranche ahead of these guys for everybody here?
Yes, he's got very good hands and he can shoot. He's a goal scorer. He can skate. He's good size, 6'1".
The question is not whether we stay at 26. The question is, do we get to 21 to have a chance at Hage? Okay. and to have a chance at another move? That's the question. So it's Hage that we're chasing at 21. And we'll probably have, I don't know, hedging it 20% chance that he's there.
Because at 21, you're going to get that cluster of big guys, character guys. We'll be able to pick one of those.
If Hage is gone.
If Hage is gone. Si tu peux trouver une perle rare dans les rondes plus tardives, je pense que c'est là qu'on va gagner notre gagne-pain. On mentionne ça souvent aux dépisteurs. Trouver un joueur pour les dernières rondes, c'est très important. C'est pas des choix juste pour faire un choix.
Puis je suis persuadé que tous les dépisteurs qui sont dans la chambre, qui sont là présentement, ils ont fait leur devoir. Fait que pour nous, quand on repêche en 7e ronde, il faut prendre le meilleur joueur disponible pour l'organisation du Canadien de Montréal. Que ce soit en 1er ronde ou 7e ronde, c'est la même chose.
So the guys that we have a reasonable chance at in that cluster 57 to 78, other than the 2 goalies, they're starting with the Koivu, Sawyer. Any thoughts on Koivu, whether it's at 57 or 70?
He's a self-motivated guy. He's got the support group from home. He knows how to be a pro. He eats well, he sleeps well, he goes to school. There's no concerns at all. He's a responsible two-way center. Like you can put him on the ice anytime in the game.
I think Koivu is a notch above that group, for me anyways, but...
Above which group?
That group that he's in. He's at the top of it, which is fine, but I think he's a notch above that group, for me.
So he's in the right area?
Yeah, he's in the right spot. The data supports that
order?
That order.
Okay.
Very much so.
Yeah. You see how smart we are, Bush? We're
always
always correlated with your data.
I'm gonna grab a beer.
So then after those 2 picks, your next 2, we have thirds, right?
70, 78.
And what's the home run there look like?
From Sawyer, what I saw at that tournament, I think his upside was pretty big with his size, skill, playmaking ability, just throwing the body around.
With Sawyer, like he was going head to head with Hage growing up, with all those Toronto kids. They were 1-2 punch, and then he ended up playing lacrosse in spring and summers, and Hage was playing hockey all year. So, you know, we could be getting, you know, one of the best kids coming out of Toronto in the age group who just happened to be elite at lacrosse and play lacrosse a lot, and he goes to BCHL. So he kind of took another route, but at 6'2", going to Providence with that brain and dual threat ability, that's a top 6 level brain and skill.
What about Connon? You're looking for size. Are you going to pass on the skill for Connon? Could he be there?
I like Connon. This guy's skill is off the charts.
But if you think he's way better as a hockey player, to me it seems hard to not take a guy we think is way better, because we need somebody who's hard. We can try to trade at some point for that too.
That screams 4th round profile, though.
Yeah.
It really screams 4th round profile. If you're gonna let your profile for a 4th rounder, that's what that profile is. It's that guy.
Oh, so what do you have on Connon?
Yeah, and he does the
skills stick out the way I think?
It does. It does change.
So in this group, he's a green light for skill.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We're in Vegas.
Yeah, I mean he's not that far from Sawyer. Like I'm watching the player. Like there's not a big difference with him and Sawyer. So if we have Sawyer late 2nd, and this guy in 4th round, he should be in the conversation probably.
Vinny, the Latvian guy is your next guy, right? When are you thinking about him? In the 5th?
Oh yeah.
In the 5th, you're starting to think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I just like that kid that much. That's why he's in that group. But I think these guys are gone.
Okay.
But is that the order? Like,
yeah.
That's your order? Okay.
Yeah. Ben Merrill.
I'd take a shot on him late
6.
all day.
Are you thinking late 5th?
6, yeah.
6?
Massive. And he has the right mentality to make it to the NHL as a 4th line center. Like a good one. 6'4.5", 202 pounds. Sat down with him last week. He's gonna be huge, and he has Like he reached out to Brian Boyle, and he's on the ice with him 1 day a week because he told him, I want to be like you. He's got a high-end hockey IQ. As a defensive kid, very, very good. And I really believe in this kid.
You guys excited?
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's do it again.
Excited?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to war.
Yep, game time.
Welcome to the 2024 Upper Deck NHL Draft at Sensational Sphere.
Draft day for us it's kind of like Game 7 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. That's a big day for us and big day for our hockey club, but it's an opportunity that we get really excited for. And but you also want to make sure you stay calm because anything can happen on draft day.
It's a really challenge how this draft is going to be, because I think whereas before people felt like that 5th pick held the key, I think now that 2nd and 3rd pick is what's going to hold the key to what comes out afterwards. And it really is going to be about where the defensemen fall versus where the forwards fall, and could have an impact on which teams are moving up, which teams are moving back. So it's going to be interesting.
If the draft didn't go our way, would you trade 5 for their #1 pick next year unprotected and a 2nd round pick?
What teams might offer you for that pick is also relevant based on how each draft is shaping up.
On a un plan B, on a un plan C, au cas où qu'il arriverait des surprises aussi, parce qu'il y a toujours des surprises.
The San Jose Sharks are very proud to select from Boston University, Macklin Celebrini,
Artem Levshunov,
Beckett Seneca,
Caden Lindstrom.
Things are falling into place, baby. That's how it happens.
The 5th selection in the 2024 NHL Draft belongs to the Montreal Canadiens.
To make our 2024 first selection, I'm pleased to invite on stage our #1 fan, the one and only Celine Dion.
With the 5th overall selection, the Montreal Canadiens are proud to select Ivan Demidov.
It's an unbelievable moment from childhood. All players dreaming about it. Yeah, and now dreams come true, you know. And unbelievable city like Montreal. It's crazy, you know.
You did a bad interview for everybody, right?
Yeah.
On était tellement contents, tout le monde aux tables, qu'on a entendu le choix de Columbus, puis on savait qu'on aurait Ivan. Pas que les autres étaient pas bons, mais on trouvait qu'Ivan était le meilleur pour qu'est-ce qu'on avait comme besoin. Alors d'avoir Céline qui monte, puis fait l'annonce d'un choix qui est très important pour la future, c'était beaucoup de fun.
Yep. How many?
It keeps going up. I get kind of refreshed. I'll follow you.
Oh. I know. Congrats. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, the fans seem to like the pick, and yeah, I watched some video from you. I like it. Thank you. That's me. Congrats again. Yeah, thank you, man.
Okay. Yeah, and for us too, there's one player. If he slides, we'd probably take him. Otherwise, we would do it. I'll call you. Bye.
Quand tu arrives au repêchage, tu peux avoir tes listes, tu peux classer les joueurs où tu veux, mais il faut aussi que les choses tombent de la bonne manière, que les joueurs que vous avez vraiment identifiés soient encore disponibles. Puis cette année, les choses ont tombé comme on voulait. Dans les deux cas, on avait des échanges prêts si les joueurs n'ont pas tombé à nous.
Our guy's still available. Okay, you got it. Bye. The boy is dead. He was from Montreal. He speaks French. And Pat told me his mom was going to fall apart because he gets to Montreal. Oh, good. Yeah, so it'll be pretty emotional. Yep.
From the Chicago Steel in USHL, Michael Hage.
J'ai presque oublié comment j'ai senti. C'était probablement la journée la meilleure de toute ma vie. C'est très spécial pour moi, spécialement parce que mon père adorait les Canadiens, puis moi j'adore les Canadiens. Quand j'étais plus jeune, je portais toujours le numéro 9 parce que mon père adorait Maurice Richard et il serait très fier maintenant.
You happy?
Yeah.
I was talking to Pat, like, could he slide to us?
Such a dream, man.
Good for you.
From TTS Sorolu Atos Koivu.
That's a big splash.
That's a big splash. We're all about splash with it. Celine Dion, from you guys, boy, well, big show. We're in Vegas.
No niin, moi. Onneksi olkoon. So when I was calling Atos, he was sitting at home, eyes closed, and he didn't even hear his name mentioned. But Mom started to scream, and Dad and Grandfather all jumped on him, and they were all screaming and celebrating, and they're really, really happy about this.
Do you think after 3 drafts, your puzzle is starting to look more or less complete in terms of the talent that you brought in and the variety?
We felt we were fortunate to end up with the players in each of those drafts, the players that we ended up with. They're different flavors, sizes, styles, and you need different types of players to compete for the cup. They can't all be the same, but they all need to really want to win and accept the pressure that comes with the territory where our team happens to play. So we felt confident that the types of people that we brought into the organization will deal with that pressure aptly.
We all know that the draft is where the teams are built that are having success. That's the plan, that's what we're trying to do, and hopefully fans can see that as it's starting to develop.